Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss the brand new 2023 Disney Plus original show, finally, Percy Jackson and the Olympians. So season 1 is 8 episodes long, stars Walker Scobell, Leah Jeffries, Aryan Samhadri, playing our illustrious trio, Percy Jackson, Annabeth Chase, and then Grover the Satyr. So this is 8 episodes long. The first season is based on the very first book, Lightning Thief, which came out in 2005. I should have grabbed my books. I don't know how to talk about this show. I don't know how to talk about this show because the first season is just the first book. And a lot of this season had to be about laying groundwork. The Percy Jackson franchise, right? There's over 30 books in the regular canon, right? You have 5 Percy Jackson and the Olympians books. You have 5 Heroes of Olympus books. You have 5 Trials of Apollo books. You have 3 Red Kane Chronicle books. You have 3 Magnus Chase books. But then you have a plethora of additional books. Demigod Diaries, Demigod Files, How to Survive This, things. There's over 30 books in the Percy Jackson canon. This first season is about book 1. That's it. But it's laying groundwork for a lot of other stuff. When you talk about Rick Riordan's imprint series, which is called Rick Riordan Presents, which is about other authors doing their own stories about other mythologies, right? Other stories from their youth, whatever. Incredible stories that they are as well. We've talked about well over 20 of those, roughly. I know there's like... In total, when you incorporate the multiverse of the Percy Jackson franchise, you have over 50 books because it's a multiverse. It's a credentialed, astounded, it is documented multiverse. It is a multiverse of these books that these characters can intertwine and interact in things, right? It's 30 main Percy books and then 20 plus because we're still going on in regards to the Rick Riordan Presents books. Rick Riordan is an amazing human being in general. Extremely innovative, extremely empathetic, extremely accepting, extremely... What's the word? You know, like there's like people who like have to scream because that's the only way that they're heard. And then it's like the louder the animal, the dumber they are kind of a thing. I don't know there's like a term. Whatever that is. The louder the animal, the dumber they are. He's the opposite of that because he's so quiet and reserved, because he's so smart and he absorbs everything. He just listens to everything, calculates what has to be discussed, and then reciprocates. It's just the way his mind works is just astounding. So to finally see his work represented properly is cool because he's the creative aspect of this, but he's also one of the head writers in the series. So it's his work in his vision with fellow producers and directors throughout the 8 episodes. So it's really cool getting his vision across and him tweaking what he wants to tweak along the way, leading to the groundwork of the 50 books we have ahead of us. So why I said originally, I don't know how I'm going to talk about this particular series, is because this series, this first season, is such a footnote when it comes to the vast amount of information ahead of us. 30 Percy books, 20 plus Rick Riordan Presents books. So it was very difficult for me to watch this series, to watch this first season, the 8 episodes that it was, because my mind is racing. This character said this thing, which equates to this thing 17 books later. This character does this thing, which means, oh, well, that's coming through 2 books later. There's so many things that are like groundwork laid within this particular season that I was freaking the freak out when oh, okay, well, Nico's screaming in the background of the Lotus Casino for Bianca, so they're going to pop through in the 3rd season, whenever this might happen. But it's just a lot of that. And then a lot of this was also like, oh, I can't wait to see Frank Zhang, and I can't wait to see Hazel Levesque, and I can't wait to see all these things. I can't wait to see Piper McLean just be an absolute HBIC and just recap. I'm so floored for what's to happen next, within the next decade and 2. The fact that this series in general has done such incredible work in regards to ratings, in regards to fandom, It's just funny watching certain individuals complain, oh, it's not the same as the book. The point is, and their biggest concerns was when the castings were announced in regards to Walker, who doesn't look anything like Percy, Leia, who doesn't look anything like Annabeth, book-wise, and Grover, who doesn't look anything like Arian, who plays Grover, doesn't look anything like Arian. The main three characters look nothing like their character descriptions in the book. And the point is, it's about character. It's about character. It's not about color. It's not about the color of someone's skin. It's not about the color of someone's hair. It's not about the color of someone's eyes. It's about the character. And when people were in an uproar with the casting announcements, I actually laughed because I grew up in regards to musical theater. I had a lot of training within musical theater, a lot of acting experience within musical theater, various different types of stage productions, etc. So I had the opportunity and the privilege to go to various Broadway shows when I was younger in my youth, sitting up in the nosebleeds. But if you watch a show multiple times, they change the actors. Certain contracts come up and, or there's an understudy popping through. Just because you saw one character who happened to be white doesn't mean that there's going to be the same white kind of actor going to play the same character in a different production. I remember I saw the Frozen when it was on Broadway. Did not like it. But I don't like how they changed the story. It's just weird. It's just weird. Anyway, point is that there was a black actress who played Elsa in regards to the story. But the key word is that she played the character correctly. She showed that empathy. She showed that sadness. She showed that Let It Go scene was just absolutely phenomenal because it was a matter of character. It's a matter of character. Character, not color. Character, not color. So, putting that aside and understanding how humanity is supposed to be, that whole post-racial aspect, which we all strive for, I've been in that mindset for quite some time. I had no concerns with the casting announcements because the characters had nothing to do, the color of certain pigmentation in eyes and hair and skin tone has no bearing on the character that we're presented. So with Walker as Percy, with Leia as Annabeth, and with Arian as Grover, they portrayed the characters so well, it was disturbing how accurate, not even disturbing, it was so amazing at how accurate of a depiction of the character it was. And to have this introduction as these 12-year-old kids, granted Grover is 24, but he's still played by a 12-year-old. Granted, they're all not 12 anymore. That's the other concerning part, because they're aging as kids do. So what happens next? This is my one concern. I have a few concerns. My one concern. But it's just really cool seeing this introduction, this groundwork being laid, leading to the 30 books, leading to the 50 multiverse books. So it was hard for me to watch this. This is why I'm circling back now. It was hard for me to watch this because my mind couldn't focus on the book one information because I'm jumping. I'm jumping ahead. I'm like, oh, they're talking about Thalia Grace this and Thalia Grace that. And I'm like, oh, bro, when Jason pops up, bro, you're not even ready. Not even ready. The fun part about this, though, and then watching the different reaction videos and stuff like that as well, a lot of us are still like, we got like goosebumps at the certain points, like when Percy's fighting Ares, that massive battle, and then like the water comes up, and it's like, yeah, like that's our Percy. Like it's cool because we all have the same reactions. And it's funny watching people have reactions who don't know the story. They gasp at certain scenes, or when Luke's revealed to be, he's been working with Kronos the whole time. Like, bro, this is old news. Like, we've known this since 05, right? About 20 years. It's been 19 years, technically. If this is 2024, the book came out in 05. We've known this for 19 years. So it's just funny watching people who don't know the book, who don't know the stories, watching this for the first time. They're like, no, but Luke. And I'm like, yeah, that's the point. Wait till Kronos inhabits him. And then Percy kills him. It's going to be sick. And it's funny because it's not even a spoiler. It's not even a spoiler because that's what happens in the books. It's interesting. It's interesting watching something like this and you're freaking the freak out because you know what's going to happen next. It doesn't matter how the pacing was changed or little tiny minute details where they get 4 pearls from the Nereid instead of 3 pearls from the Nereid. Just things, right? Little tiny things. It just went very quick for a pacing construct and they gave us some more backstory. We get Hermes in the casino, which I thought was a neat twist. We get Sally and Poseidon have a nice conversation, which doesn't happen at all in any form of the series. So that was really cool to see that emotional aspect. Whoever the actress is who plays Sally Jackson is phenomenal. She does a wonderful job with that mother-son relationship, and it's just really cool seeing that. Walker does a fantastic job in general, and it's cool watching this hero's journey begin. It's cool watching this hero's journey start. Them all wearing their orange Camp Half-Blood shirts. Annabeth giving him the necklace with the 5 clay beads and her dad's college ring. But you need to read the books to know that that is her dad's college ring. If you're watching the show, you don't know whose ring that is. But we know. And we know why, you know, his mom making blue pancakes with blueberries is a thing. We know why that he takes out blue candy in the Hermes cabin when he first gets to Camp Half-Blood. Tiny little things, tiny little Easter egg nods to those of us who've read the books over the last 19 years. It was cute. I would have liked for things to be explained why there's blue food. It's because his mom works at a candy shop in the airport, and his smelly Gabe stepfather said, no, there's no blue food. And then, like, to prove him wrong, like, she would always bring Percy blue candy and then make blue chocolate chip cookies and thing. Blue chocolate chip cookies, that's a thing throughout the entirety of the series. But it's like, if you don't read that, you're not going to know the importance of the blue food. So, like, certain Easter eggs were given to us, the readers, and I loved it. But I feel like it should have been explained for the non-readers who don't know the story and why blue food is a really cool thing. So that's what my point is. I love that Rick was able to tweak whatever he wanted to tweak for pacing. I love that he was able to give the final say in the casting for his characters. Character, not color. Wonderful. It was perfect. I'm very happy that it happened. Now, my concern is how it was actually edited. That's my biggest concern about the entirety of the 8 episodes. This had direct cut to black scenes, which I'm like, why? You're filming it and you're editing it like you're just cutting to commercial break. But this is a streaming service, so there's no TV commercial break unless they edited it for ad breaks, because Disney technically has tiers where you pay more for no ads and you have lower tiers where there is ads. I don't have the ads, so my question is, when they cut to black, was there an ad after each cut to black? I don't know. Someone's gonna have to answer that. I just don't like that it was filmed that way. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't cut to black preparing for a commercial break. That's not cool, man. You're supposed to, you're filming these kinds of things like 8 mini movies. You're not going to have these cut to black commercial breaks in a movie theater movie, even if it's the awkward screen transition between Star Wars projects. Those are awkward. But that's different. It's a weird transition. It's not a cut to black and then, like, I don't know. It just irked me how it was done. I'm not a fan of how it was done. What else? What else did I notice that we should bring up? Pretty much talked about what I need to talk about. It was hard for me to watch it because my mind is racing 1 billion miles a minute, preparing for what's to happen next. The 3 main trio are just amazing, and I'm very excited to see what happens next with them. With them as talent in general, as human beings in general, but see what happens with their characters. It's just, it's nice to see Percy getting his due, because for so long we had to live with the 2010 film and then the 2013 film, and they were just so bad in regards to the story. And it's unfortunate because you had really talented actors playing the characters, much older characters, right? They're not playing the 12-year-olds. They're playing late teens characters. So everything was tweaked, but then it was just so not what the story was. Like Logan Lerman as Percy Jackson was like perfect casting, wrong time kind of a thing. Like in an alternate universe, he would have continued on being that Percy within regards to a franchise. So it's just interesting watching this now, getting the depiction of books that is right in regards to the author have the say in regards to writing it, and tweaked whatever he had to tweak. Totally fine. That's their prerogative. But I'm just happy to see Percy's getting that fanfare in regards to film, where he's had that fanfare in books and fan art for quite some time. Quite some time. I have so many Percy things in general. I'd say a third of I have all my books in this massive bookshelf. A third of my books are Rick Riordan books or Rick Riordan Presents books. So I've been in deep since 07, 08. I started reading the books before the 4th book came out. 5, 6, 7, 8. So in 2008 is when I started reading the books, because Battle of the Labyrinth was the first new book I started with, because I had to read 1, 2, and 3 before 4 came out. So I've been around with the series 3 years after the series came out, right? Long time. Long time. I got my tattoos. I got my movie displays. I got things, right? I got things that nobody else normally has. I got a Percy Jackson action figure from the 2010 film. And I know we don't talk about the film, but this is super rare. This is a Logan Lerman as Percy Jackson action figure with his little riptide at Christmas. They don't exist. I got one. It's proudly displayed on my shelf. So I have things, right? I'm a Percy fan. I just wish that we get the seasons faster than we did originally, because if it's another 2-3 years before we get season 2 to air, they're gonna be in their 30s playing 15-year-olds, and I'm concerned. That's my biggest concern. Can't wait for the rest of the Big 7 to pop up. Big 9, if you will. Raina, can't wait. This is years from now. This is like a decade from now of me hoping. Raina, Frank, Hazel, Piper, Jason. Did we say Frank? We said Frank. Percy, Annabeth, Nico. And who's the last one? I'm missing somebody. Leo Valdez. Cannot wait for Leo Valdez to pop up on screen with his flame on powers. Oh, bro, I'm going to freak the freak out. I'm getting ahead of myself. And that's my problem. Watching this show, I was getting ahead of myself. So we'll see what happens next. I'm very excited. I thought it was very well done. It was a little childish for me, to be completely honest, because of the adult death and drama and destruction that happens books later. But that's my point. This is the first thing. The first thing for the groundwork. And I'm skipping ahead. Very excited to see what happens next. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Season 1, Lightning Thief. On to the next review. Mucho mahalo.